Okay, let's see if this works. I don't know about room or anything that's going on with my phone. And I'm not, anyway, let's just see if I can get through this. So, okay. Mother hell. There's a lot happening right now. Today's my grandfather's birthday, November 13th, and I was trying to avoid, I guess, telling this story because I keep telling it. I feel like it's like so redundant at this point, but I haven't told it here, and it coincides so much with some things that are going on right now in my life. It's just impossible not to pay tribute in this way on this day. And Charlotte, this is insane to me, some of this. Charlotte just asked to watch The Wizard of Oz. And we just put on The Wizard of Oz for her. And I haven't done the math here yet, but I have this like strange feeling that my grandfather may have been 16 years old when this came out, when The Wizard of Oz was released, which is just blowing my mind. I have to figure that out a little bit more, but that's big, if that is so. It's big anyway. Just that all of it, that she's watching that Charlotte is watching The Wizard of Oz right now on this day. And I also want to tell about this. I want to tell about a dream experience that I had. It's not simply a dream. About my grandfather's death. He died when I was 16 years old. And he was, I think, the first man to illuminate for me what the darkness really is. And I want to tell about that. And part of the reason I need to tell about that is because I also have been having these dreams these past couple of nights about experiences with, like, I don't know what to call them anymore, about this PJ guy that I keep talking about actually physically finding each other. Like the first one was awesome. It was this, like, I can't explain it really, but like a really amazing, huge, epic pizza party. I'm not joking. And it was enchanting. Like, it was amazing. And the last night, going into this morning, or in the wee hours of this morning, I dreamt of finding, this is so wild, a hidden room in my house that was his room, and I found him in the flesh, and it was beautiful. I could bring him into this rest of the world here. So that brings me to my grandfather. 16, Jesus, God. I've said this before about 16 for me. It's a rough year, but led me to some amazing 16 types of realizations, I guess. So here's the deal. My grandfather died pretty much shockingly, out of nowhere. He had some heart trouble. But it wasn't an expected death. He literally fell over in his chair and died one afternoon. And I was very, very close to him and my grandmother. I've said that before. And I went over there, spent the night there that night with my grandmother. I had a really hard time with his death, and not just in, grief way. In fact, I couldn't even feel grief for a while. I was horrified by it. I was haunted by it. I had known people that had died and things, but no one that close to me, and he was like the patriarch of our family, and all of a sudden all these things, things that I used to just do, like be at his desk all the time and his bed and his workshop downstairs. I just felt like really freaked out by those places, and I didn't know where he went. He just disappeared, but he didn't, and I felt very terrified by where exactly he had gone to all of the sudden. And I couldn't sleep at all for like a couple of weeks. It was just really, really, really again haunting me. I felt suddenly scared of this man I loved so dearly, like scared of what he'd become, or how to be in a space, a physical space that reminded me of him. I was just really conflicted. So I couldn't sleep, and I was sort of tortured over this. And then I had a dream experience. Oh my God, I gotta get some vocabulary around this. It's more appropriate. I'm in here, but I'm talking on this. Do you want to come in?
Well, can I have a soda?
What? Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I had this experience one night where I was back in time, like really truly back in time, at the reception at my grandparents' house after his funeral, and everything was just quite as it was. I'm getting nervous talking about this all of a sudden. Like I'm just like gonna babble. It's hard. I talked about this earlier today. I just feel like I'm going on and on. It's important though to do this right now. So I was there again at this reception. Everything was exactly as it was that day, and going through the same emotions and things that were happening. And then and suddenly they had a split level house, you know, like from those days. And it was the middle, though they also had a basement. They had the workshop basement. They had on the middle level by the front door, it's like a foyer area. And there was a coat closet there, which was probably the place in the house I was least experienced with. I knew every nook and cranny, but what reason did I really ever have to like hang out in this one particular coat closet? So in this experience of going through this reception afterwards, again, I felt myself pulled toward this coat closet to open the doors to the wooden doors to this coat closet for some reason, and thought that was strange, but of course followed it and opened the doors, and looking in, I noticed, oh God, just off to my like left in this very narrow closet, it was actually like this little passageway, little secret passageway. So I ducked in and shut the doors behind me, and it led me into a kind of golden, no, not kind of, but a golden room. Bright golden square room. And up high in this room were two windows, and it was completely black outside.